Hi everyone, welcome to the new episode of our virtual outing. So for today's virtual outing, we are at Gardens by the Bay. So over here, we are going to bring you to different areas and exhibitions of this beautiful place. In commemoration of this festive that we will be celebrating next coming up tonight. So come with me to actually take a look at the different beautiful exhibitions that we are going through. This is the flowerdome. Is where the flowers never stop blooming. And when we are here, we can get up close with the unusual plants native to a range of unique habitats from the Mediterranean region to South African savannas and arid deserts. Also here, we'll be awed by the flowerdome's beauty and its sheer size. The Cavernous Pool Conservatory, which holds the Guinness World Record for the largest glass greenhouse. So over here we can explore and learn more about this innovative mega structure that literally brings the world's flora under one roof. The flowerdome's volume is equivalent to 75 Olympic-sized swimming pool. The flowerdome is covered with 3,332 glass panels, and also the temperature in this flowerdome ranges from 23 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius. And the whole flower field hall, it accommodates up to 1,000 people. Very unique information here is that the roof is fitted with specially selected glass that allows optimal light in for plants while minimizing solar heat and allowing the conservatory to be cooled more effectively. behind me is once upon a time on the Orient Express. So it presents some of the most extraordinary objects and documents to showcase centuries old of history that retraces the legacy of the train. And it allows visitors to discover events that transform the world and shape the map. So it is a unique opportunity for visitors to explore the tracks and landscapes that generations before had once traveled on. And also we can witness what then only a few explorers and diplomats had. And actually all these are brought to the mind on the initial voyages of this legendary train, which is designed by George Nagelmakers. So it's a first in history. So for the first time that the two of the original train carriages and locomotives will leave France destined for Singapore to sit right within the 200-meter square exhibition space. And it's designing and staging a display like the Orient Express in Singapore, meant collecting around 300 precious items and documents, having to restore some of them and adapt many of the furniture and displays to its former glory. So it involves shipping historic monuments, locomotives built in France 158 years ago, and 1930s Pullman car, two carriages classified as national treasures of France. It will be the entry into the world discovery. So this pop-up attraction retraces a highly fantastical universe from a highly fantastical universe from an incredible collection of pieces from a bygone era, presenting objects and documents summarizing the history of the Orient Express, which includes like posters, menus, crockery, cutlery, suitcases, stained glass, windows, furniture, and testifying to a luxury now bygone. So there is allegories of travel presented through large displays of trunks, address, social, cultural, and technical pieces linked to the adventures of the Orient Express. And it also looks back on the art of living on board as they evoke the scenic stopovers placed on its roads, such as London, Paris, etc. So we can also immerse in documentaries, news reels, and film clips that elicit the rich literary and cinematographic heritage inspired by Orient Express. So we are now going to take a look at this wonderful train. Welcome to the cloud forest. So this is the place where we will have our head in the cloud. And it's home to one of the world's largest indoor waterfalls and a large mountain clad with plants from around the world. So cloud forest rewards the curious and adventurous, and we can go on a fascinating journey of discovery and get up close with some of the world's most exotic plant species. Now, as we make our way into the mountain's peak, we can take a closer look at the unusual vegetation native to cloud forest habitats, typically found at some of 2,000 meters above sea level. So do look out for the carnivorous plants such as pitcher plants and Venus flytraps as you all come along this place, while enjoying the spectacular view of Marina Bay waterfront. Now it is as large as 1.5 regular football field over here, and it features a 35-meter tall indoor waterfront behind me. Alright. So the temperature in the cloud forest ranges from 23 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius, and it has a humidity of 80% to 90%. Now a small fun fact is that the chill water pipes from the floor set helps to cool the air, and this method is called thermal stratification, which helps reduce the volume of air to be cooled. Welcome to floralfantasy. So this is a stone's throw from the Bayfront MRT station. So over here it offers a magical escape among suspended bouquets and creative floral arrangements. And we explore the diverse garden landscape that secrete into each other through a meandering space. And along the way, right, there is a vivarium populated by tiny poison dart frogs in a garment of stunning curves. So this place, right, how big is it? It's actually 1,500 square meters. And the temperature over here ranges from 23 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius. Now, there is an overhang from the ceiling, a mix of over 15,000 fresh cut and dried preserved blooms. So we will go and take a look at these two dishes. Now going to talk about these festives that we are celebrating for this month, which is the Mid-Autumn Festival. Now, the Mid-Autumn Festival, right, is also known as Moon Festival or Mooncake Festival. Now, it is a traditional festival celebrated by many East and Southeast Asian people. And of course, it's the second most important holiday after Chinese New Year with a history. And it dates back 3,000 years when China's emperors worshipped the moon for beautiful harvest. Now, we also know that this festival is held on the 15th day of the 8th month of the Chinese lunar solar calendar, with a full moon at night, corresponding to mid-September to early October of the Gregorian calendar. So on this day, right, actually the Chinese believe that the moon is the brightest and fullest sign, and it coincides with harvest time in the middle of autumn. And at that period of time, actually lanterns of size and shapes are carried and displayed. So it symbolizes the light, people's path to prosperity and good fortune. And also mooncakes, a rich pastry typically filled with sweet bean, yolk, meat, or lotus seed paste, and are traditionally eaten during the festivities.
there are many meanings or several meanings on why the festival is being celebrated. And there are three fundamental concepts that are closely connected. So first is gathering, such as family and friends coming together or harvesting crops for the festival. It is said that the moon is the brightest and roundest on this day, which means family reunion. Now, consequently, this is the main reason why the festival is thought to be important. Second is Thanksgiving, to give thanks for the harvest or for harmonious unions. And third is prayer, asking for conceptual or material satisfaction, such as for baby, spouse, beauty, longevity, or for good future. So tradition and myths surrounding the festival are formed around this concept. Although traditions have changed over time due to changes in technology, science, economy, culture, and religion, well, the most important thing is about well-being together. There are indeed many history and also myths or legends about this festival itself. Now, one that we know of is that the very important or very famous myth is that in China, the Mid-Autumn Festival symbolizes the family reunion, and on this day, all families will appreciate the moon in the evening, because it is the 15th day of the 8th month of the Chinese lunisolar calendar. Now, when the moon is at its fullest, the myth comes that the Chang'e, this lady, flies to the moon. Although we now know that the moon had no one staying here, but back then, this is what the Chinese believed. So offerings were also made to a more well-known lunar deity who is Chang'e herself. And she's also known as the moon goddess of immortality. Now, the myth associated with Chang'e explaining the origin of moon worship during the day. So there is one version of the story which is as follows, and it is being described in Li Huiyang's Handbook of Chinese Mythology. Alright, so it goes by the story that in ancient past there was a hero named Ho Yi, who was excellent at archery. So his wife was Chang'e, and one year the 10 suns rose in the sky together, which caused great disaster to the people. So Ho Yi shot down 9 of the suns and left only one to provide light. And Immortal admired Yi, and he sent him the exile of immortality. And Yi did not want to leave Chang'e and be immortal without her. So he let Chang'e keep the exile. And what happened is Peng Men, one of the apprentices, knew this secret. So on the 15th of August in the Chinese lunisolar calendar, when Yi went hunting, Peng Men broke into Yi's house and forced Chang'e to give the elixir to him. And Chang'e refused to do so. Instead, she swallowed it and flew into the sky. Now, since Chang'e loved her husband and hoped to live nearby, she chose the moon for residence. Now, when Yi came back and learned what had happened, he felt so sad. And he displayed the fruits and cakes Chang'e liked in the yard and gave sacrifices to his wife. And people soon learned about these activities, and since they were also sympathetic to Chang'e herself, what happened was that they participated in these sacrifices with Ho Yi. Now, when people learned of this story, they burned incense on the long altar and prayed to Chang'e. so who is now the goddess of the moon for luck and safety. The custom of praying to the moon on Mid-Autumn Day has been handed down for thousands of years since that time. The Handbook of Chinese Mythology also describes an alternate common version of the myth. Now, after the hero Hou Yi actually shot down 9 of the 10 sons, he was pronounced king by the thankful people. However, he soon became a conceited and tyrannical ruler. Now, in order to live long without death, he asked for the elixir from Xi Wangmu, but his wife Chang'e stole it on the 15th of August because she did not want the cruel king to live long and hurt more people. So she took the magic potion to prevent her husband from becoming immortal. And Hou Yi was so angry when he discovered that Chang'e took the elixir. He shot at his wife as she flew towards the moon, though he missed. Now Chang'e fled to the moon and became the spirit of the moon. And Hou Yi died soon because he was overcome with great anger. So thereafter, people offer a sacrifice to Chang'e on every 15th day of the 8th month to commemorate Chang'e's action. Now, all these are all the myths and legends that people know in town. However, we don't know to this day whether all these are real or not. Nevertheless, these are all the beautiful stories that we learn. Part of the celebration for Mid-Autumn Festival, of course, is mooncake. Yes. So I bought this mooncake at this store in Hougang. It's called 大中国. Yeah, they sold mooncake over there. First of all, mooncake is not halal also, like rice dumpling. So for the Muslim and Malay, please do not buy it if you are very particular about all this. Because there's no halal sign, so that's why it's not halal. Okay, anyway, what about these mooncakes? Later I'll introduce these two things, but let me introduce about the mooncake first. So what about the mooncakes? Now, according to Le May, the round mooncakes are symbols of the great family reunion, just like the round. So mooncakes, right, are becoming more and more popular, and the variety of flavors has turned them into gifts for friends and relatives. Now, mooncake itself is a hallmark tradition for this festival. In Chinese culture, a round shape symbolizes completeness and reunion. Thus, the sharing and eating of round mooncakes among family and members during the week of the festival signifies the completeness and unity of the family. Now, in some areas of China, there is a tradition of making mooncakes during the night of the Mid-Autumn Festival. And the senior person in the household will cut the mooncake, just as what I've done now, into pieces and distribute them to each family member, signifying family reunion. And that in modern times, however, making mooncakes at home has given way to the more popular custom of giving mooncakes to family members, although the meaning of maintaining familial unity remains. So now, as you can see, I bought two types of mooncake. So this first mooncake itself is actually the red bean paste mooncake that you all can see. All the red bean paste is here. Then the second type of mooncake is actually the lotus paste mooncake. So inside there's an egg yolk with lotus paste itself. So these two are the more common types of mooncake that is actually found in Singapore. But there are still other variety and flavors. So you all can go and check it out. Now, then you will be asking, what about these two? What are these two things? Now, actually, these two are also found in the store itself, and it's actually one of the, or two of the very popular pastries. So they are actually called the Lao Gong Ping and Lao Po Ping, or husband and wife cake. Now, actually in Guangdong, right, in China, Guangdong, so you'll find no multi-tiered white wedding cakes celebrating the loving union between husband and wife, and like no tiny figurines of the bride and groom, right, is actually found there either. So then what happened is that over there, such a sweet union exists without such exigencies, and it became in the form of simple pastries inspired by the stories of love terms. So that is why there is this whole thing. So the wife cake, or sweetheart cake, and husband cake are among the most popular Chinese pastries in Guangdong. And don't be surprised, right, if you find several variations on the traditional recipe. Now, for the wife cake, yeah, this is a wife cake, okay? So inside, right, is winter melon, coconut, butter and sugar. And this wife cake, right, there is a legend. So the origin of the wife cake involves the tale of a couple living in a small village in imperial China. And while they lacked material wealth, they had no shortage of love for each other. So what happened is that tragedy struck, and with the outbreak of a mysterious disease causing the husband's father to become fatally ill. Now the couple spent all of their money on treatment to save his life, but to no avail. Now, in the ultimate display of self-sacrifice, the wife saw herself as a slave in order to afford the continuing treatment of her father-in-law. So once the husband learned about his wife's action, he devised a pastry filled with winter melon and coconut in order to buy her back. And his cake, right, then become so popular that not only was he able to earn money to free her, but enough to save his dying father. Now then you will be asking, so this is about the wife cake. Then what about the husband cake? Now the husband cake inside is actually fermented red bean curd, peanut sesame, 5 stars rice, nice butter and salt. So the legend is that the tale of the husband cake began long ago with a couple of childhood sweethearts. Now the boy came from a poor family and so lacked the funding necessary to sit for the national examination for government office. Now, the passing of which was seen as the only way for a poor village to ascend in wealth and class. So the girl then created a salty pastry made of sesame and bean curd and sold it in the market in order to earn the money for his examination journey. Now since then, people call it husband cake. Not only was she able to earn enough for him to take his exam, her efforts imbued the boy with confidence to score the best mark and win position of a high ranking officer. So these are names for this cake itself. So if you say what is the connection between the mooncake and these two cakes, I believe it's the love that each person have for each other that contributed to this beautiful myth that has happened for so many years. And that today we went to the Gardens by the Bay. Yes, those beautiful sceneries reminded me of the love that couples have for each other. Alright, so now I'm going to enjoy these pastries, and after that we will conclude in the next segment.
come to the end for this virtual outing, and we are very happy to actually bring you all around to be able to view all the beautiful plants and sceneries. Now, you may be thinking, how is it connected to the Mid-Autumn Festival? Actually, there isn't any much connection between the places that we visit and also the festive itself. But I guess Mid-Autumn Festival has a beautiful history and beautiful story. So, you know, coming to be able to come to these beautiful places and these sceneries is part of this beautiful history which we are able to connect to it as well. So, we hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you like this video, please remember to like, share and subscribe, and press on the notification bell. We'll see you in the next